What's up? Welcome to Cohn and LaRocca. That's Tyler C. LaRocca. I'm Grant L. Cohn. Today we're going to be talking about all the wonderful things that Mac Jones has done, not only for the community and the organization, but for Brock Purdy specifically. I mean, his career was really on life support there for a second. And then Mac
Mhm,
Jones came in and
mhm.
reminded him exactly how to play the position the right way at the best way. And now you got Brock Purdy back on top with three wins in a row. But before we get into all of that, shout out today's sponsor, Brunt Footwear. With temps dropping and the holidays coming up, it's time to treat yourself or the hardworking man in your life to real comfort. Skip the throwaway gifts and get them something built to last. Brunt Workwear. Our listeners get $10 off their entire order with code COHN at checkout. That's bruntworkwear.com and use code COHN. Order today and let them know you heard it here on the show. How nice is this boot?
Oh, man. What a boot.
Are you if you're listening on Spotify, what you're not seeing is the Marin boot from Brunt, where it's just so. I mean, look at this. Look at the leather.
Oh my
It's not only
gosh.
like good for your feet and warm, but it's a fashion statement.
Yeah, I
You know that I
mean,
wear boots all the time. I'm a boot guy.
mm,
You know what David Lombardi is? He's a
loafer
cowboy
guy.
boot and
Oh,
jean guy. So is Brock Purdy. I'm more of a
oh.
Brunt workwear guy.
Yeah, I like Brunt workwear because it no matter the situation, you're always ready, if you gotta go to work, if you gotta run, if you just wanna look good, you know, so
I just want to look good, but that's not hard for me. Okay, let's talk Brock Purdy and Mac Jones. This is great. So Brock Purdy was recently interviewed on KNBR with Murph and Marcus, and the question was like, "What did you sort of learn or pick up from Mac when you were hurt?" And he says, "Definitely learned from him in terms of being efficient, taking what the defense gives you, trying to stay on the field, find ways to get points, whether it's good looking or not, like kicking a field goal after a check down." It's little things like that that's playing NFL quarterback, and hopefully we can continue to push each other and help each other out as we go down the stretch here, but extremely thankful for the guy, that's for sure. Um,
Mac Jones QB coach, man.
so I the takeaway for me there, the best thing he said was whether it's good looking or not, like
Yeah.
kicking a field goal after a check down. So that's essentially what Brock Purdy thinks of Mac Jones. It's not pretty. He's not pretty. He's got a dad bod. I'm putting words in his mouth, but nothing about Mac Jones' game is that pretty. He's not really trying to wow you. He's just being efficient and taking what the defense gives you. And Brock is special and he's super. He can do a whole lot
Mhm.
more, but he's been reminded by Mac Jones that there's something to the boring aspects of playing football and that you should embrace them. What do you think of that?
I think it's awesome, especially from a guy, that's such a playmaker. He has the second worst passer rating when he holds the ball for over 2.5 seconds. Like some may call that a playmaker, like the longer you hold the ball, the worse you are as a player. You're just making plays for the defense. So I think he should probably, yeah, I think he should definitely take those lessons he's learned from Mac because he's not a good playmaker. It, it's not pretty when he holds the ball longer than 2.5 seconds. So he should probably just take what the defense gives him.
I mean, for whatever reason, it's not working anymore. It used to work a couple of years ago when he would hold the ball a long time. Maybe it's because he had better wide receivers, guys who could get open down the field, or
Yeah.
guys who were on the same page as him. But now, when he holds the ball a long time, it seems like the best thing he does is throw the ball away. And maybe he
Yeah.
learned that from Mac Jones as well. So
Yep.
Mac Jones is 100% responsible for Brock Purdy playing a more prudent, mature style of football. And Brock Purdy wasn't done. No, no, no. He kept talking. He said, hold on. Let me get it. He's hilarious in reference of Mac Jones. Just his charisma and his personality. He's awesome. Honestly, it's been good for me to have a guy that you can see play quarterback and have fun with it. Because for me,
Mm.
I'm so serious about my job and everything, which is great, but it's cool to see him have fun with it and learn from him in that regard. I think there's actually something to that. To me,
Mhm.
Brock Purdy's been so serious,
Mhm.
bordering on tight, that a lot of the issues have sort of snowballed and he hasn't been able to help. Then you have Mac Jones actually enjoying himself. He didn't lose the Super Bowl. Dancing. He was a big dancer. And now what did
Yes.
we see from Brock Purdy last game?
He's doing the Dougie, man.
doing the Dougie, and he planned it. You know what I mean? He's like, I gotta dance too." So I
Yeah.
see Mac bring out the personality in Brock Purdy as
No,
well. Good thing.
and I agree. I think it's a good thing because I also think it does help Brock Purdy with like not feeling like he needs to play hero ball. Like, dude, at the end of the day, not every play, like I think that kind of fun mentality is not every play is do or die. Like if you can't make a play, don't force it. Throw it away. Take the check down. Don't do too much. You don't need to. You can just kind of be loose out there, play football, and have a good time. And I think that's why Brock played his best game.
You know who I blame for bad Brock? I used to call good Jimmy and bad Jimmy. Good Brock and bad Brock. We saw good Brock on Sunday. The guy I blame
Yes.
for bad Brock, like 100%, Cam Newton.
Yeah, I do agree. I
He
think
was talking
hearing
shit.
yeah, I
And Brock heard it, and he was like, "Nah, man, you're not really driving the bus, and you're not really that special." And I feel like ever since then, Brock's been trying to show how many plays he can make. Like, man, we know you can. You proved your point. I think you're doing it way too much. Save that for when you really need it.
mhm. I agree. I think that everyone I think certain quarterbacks hear the system quarterback thing because like even Kyle commented on it during Super Bowl week when they asked him about it. And I think it just got to Brock's head. And it's one of those things like, well, I'm not a system quarterback. I'm a star. I'm a beast. Like, I am on the level of Josh Allen. And at the end of the day, you don't need to be. Just like Kyle said, like the system is what you want to be perfect at. Like if you're perfect at the system, like that's what wins you football games. Sure, it's good to be able to go outside of that every once in a while. But what Brock has been doing up until Sunday, um, obviously you could see it's just bad. Like every play is like, oh nope, I got to make something happen here, and it leads to turnovers and
It's his
nothing.
4th year in the system. He should have complete mastery of it, and I'm not saying he
Yeah,
doesn't, but for Mac Jones to come in year 1 and get the ball out of his hands quickly, execute, like he's been here for a while, it just shows that really Brock has no excuse, and I think that I think that the signing of Mac has been so good for Brock because
hmm
now it really raises the bar and forces him to play a lot better,
yeah,
play a lot more, play smarter, because if you go out there and make a bunch of dumb mistakes
yeah,
trying to prove a point to Cam Newton or whomever, then you know what? It's Mac Jones' turn. And
yeah,
look, I feel like it's possible that Brock Purdy is a better quarterback than Mac Jones. He hasn't been playing better than Mac Jones this year. And if
yeah.
Mac Jones can set the bar here so Brock Purdy has to play here, then good for everyone.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Is like Sunday, when I say it's Brock's best game he's had in a long time, he didn't play great. Like he played fine. He played well. He played good. But it seems like after the Carolina game going into the Browns game, like my assumption would be like Kyle had some sort of like a come to Jesus moment with him. Like, dude, you gotta chill. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta stop getting happy feet. Because if you do that against Cleveland, you are going to get run ragged by that
And
defense.
you gotta stop throwing picks, man. We won in
Yeah.
spite of you against the Panthers.
Yeah.
If we lose a game and you throw picks, do you understand how loud the call for Mac Jones will be?
Yeah. Like,
You can't
and
do it.
I agree. I think, and this is why I'm saying, like, I'm holding off on, like, oh, yeah, Brock Purdy's going to be good. Because, again, it was 1 week against a defense where you know for a fact that that was emphasized all week. Like, Brock, don't do too much. Brock, don't do too much. Brock, don't do too much. So I'm interested to see when it's not emphasized, right? When you're not playing the Cleveland Browns, if is Brock going to continue to not do too much, or is he just going to go back to what he normally does and start doing too much and cost games? So, but yeah, I think Mac Jones being there is really good because Mac's that guy that could probably be like, when Brock does throw a pick, like, hey, like you had this right there, and you opted out of it.
It's
You don't need
easy
to
to
do that.
not try to do too much when you have every excuse. Like, first of all, it's windy, so if you throw for 168 yards, no one cares,
Yep.
and you're facing the Browns, whose offense is the worst.
hmm
So all you gotta do is score 9 points, and you
hmm
win that game. So they ended up winning, scoring 26. That's great. But, when they face a better quarterback, a better offense, that's not gonna be enough. But you know what? What I love about that performance from Brock is, like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're facing the Browns. So
Yep.
just do what you gotta do to beat the Browns, and then we'll worry about the
Yep.
Cowboys or the Lions if you ever face them.
Well, because here's another thing, right? It's kind of like getting a haircut, right? You can always cut too little and work on cutting more. It's the same in football. Like, Brock, we can watch film on the Browns and see, okay, you could have done a little more here. But if you're doing too much, like you did against the Panthers, there's not much for us to work off of. It's like, yeah, that was bad. Yep, that was bad. It's like, this was good, but did you see this? You threw that away, which was really good, but you could have had this. It's like a lot easier, in my opinion, to go through a film session when it's not like, all right, you did way too much here. You did way too much here.
Here's one adjustment that the Niners made, and I don't think it was just Brock. I think probably Kyle too. If you want to get Brock pushing the ball down the field, which is something they do want because they felt that was something that Mac wasn't doing. Although I
No.
think, in my opinion, it depends. Like
I
the
think he
ability to throw the ball
was.
down the field is heavily dependent on who you're throwing to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Again,
I
I agree.
think they've realized, like, don't go downfield to Ricky right now. Don't go downfield to Jennings right now. If you're going downfield to someone, who is it to?
The greatest tight end in NFL
Yeah,
history.
duh. That's who you throw to, and they took a couple of shots down the field. They weren't very far in Cleveland. They were both to Kittle. You know what's great about throwing to him down the field? You know what's great?
It
He
doesn't get
catches it.
picked. Yeah.
He catches the ball, not the other team. I mean, that's the
Like,
as
even
long
that
as you
deep
have George
ball.
Kittle in his prime, freaking leverage that. Use
Yeah,
him.
like that deep ball at the end of the half, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. But it's all like, but that's a play where it's like, okay, even if it did get picked somehow, that's one of those plays where I'd be like, I understand it. You're throwing to George. You know, I'd throw a 50-50 ball to George. Sure. If it gets picked, whatever. You know, where it's like before Brock was throwing that to like Demarcus Robinson, and you're like, why are you throwing that for Demarcus Robinson to have to make some Hall of Fame level grab? That's just not going to work. He's not Debo and he's not BA, so I don't know why you're doing it.
Niners quarterbacks have a passer rating of 140.4 when they target Kittle this year.
He's the
Last
best
year was
tight end in NFL
Last year it
history.
was 135. The year before that it was 122. For his career, quarterbacks have a quarterback rating of 118 I mean, damn, dude, he really is one of the best players of all time.
Dude, I've
Regardless
said
of
this.
position.
I have literally said this. If Kyle ever let George be the focal point of the offense, Travis Kelce and him wouldn't even be in the same stratosphere. George would be that much better. Because I
The
think
fact
George
that
can do
Kittle
everything
hasn't
Travis
gotten
can
more
do.
than 100 targets in the season since 2019 is such a crazy
That's the
trivia
only
fact.
thing I miss about Jimmy is how much he would force the ball to George. Because if there's anyone to force a football to, it's George Kittle.
You know who forced it to George even more than Jimmy? Nick Mullins. Nick
Nick
Mullins was like,
Mullins was the
"This might be my
greatest.
last
Yeah.
game ever. Where is 85?" Guess what? You're getting the
See,
ball
okay, now
again.
you know what? When
Again.
people say Brock's a gunslinger, no, Nick Mullins
Nick
was a
Mullins gave no
gunslinger.
fucks.
Dude, he was a Brett Favre level gunslinger, and he is proof that it wouldn't
He
work in
went to the
today's
same school
NFL.
as Brett Favre and beat Brett Favre's records and really thought that
Bro,
he could
he
do.
literally was the same player. He's just like double coverage, triple coverage. George, he's there. I'm throwing it. He literally was like, "Fuck it, George is down there somewhere."
I really think that I mean, if there's something that like the Niners should have learned from the Joe Montana, Steve Young eras that I mean, I wasn't there for it, but it seemed like Steve pushed Joe. Joe had a great start to his career, and then from like 85 to 87, couldn't quite get over the hump. And then they bring in Steve, and all of a sudden, Joe has his career renaissance in his early 30s, and he's like the MVP again. He had to be better than Steve. He had a guy on his ass, figuratively. And now I think that's kind of what Mac Jones is doing. I mean, the whole argument is, well, Brock's better than Mac. Well, sometimes when he plays his best, I guess, he needs to prove it, and I think the fact that he needs to prove that every week is really good for
Yeah,
him and the team. Really
I do
good.
too.
And what they're gonna do is mess it up and trade him in the offseason. I love that.
I think it's good. And I think what makes it good is Mac does the opposite, right? Like usually quarterbacks will be like, shoot, I have to make a big play. I have to make a big play. With Brock and Mac, it's the opposite. Brock's like, I need to just take what I'm given because that's what Mac would do. And if I throw a pick here, I'm going to get
I
criticized
already know
for it.
what the fans are gonna say. I mean,
Yeah.
he knows what they were saying when he was doing that against the Panthers at home in his home stadium. people in the stands were saying, "We want Mac." They didn't have a full-on chant, but if they were losing, they would.
Oh, for sure. If they
And the
started
reason they didn't
losing,
lose that
yeah.
game is because of Jair Brown and Robert Saleh and that defense, dude, not because of Brock. So
Which is my main we'll talk about that's my main concern going on the rest of the season is we're playing shit tier offenses.
oh,
And
yeah.
like and everyone's like, but look at our defense. Our defense is not going to do this in the playoffs. And expecting them to do so is just like silly.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Bill Kennedy says, "Grant, what's up with your hair?" I
I
don't
think it
know.
looks good.
Thanks. I'm getting a haircut tomorrow to like, kind of fade it out on the sides, but this is I'm trying to get the waves and the curls back. I'm poor says Mac had a turnover in 6 of 8 games in 5 consecutive games. Okay. But who had more turnover worthy plays? Who
Yeah.
has a higher interception
No,
percentage?
some of Mac's turnovers were off of receivers' hands. Those aren't a Mac turnover. That's a receiver turnover.
Yeah, I mean, Purdy's been the more turnover prone player
Yeah.
this season. Bill Kennedy says, "Is the SF Standard a real newspaper?" I've never seen it in person. Ryan G. Hensley says, "Hell of a haircut and beard. Thank you, Ryan. Grown man shit. I take credit for the beard. Run defense, not good. Got lucky with
Yes.
field position and leads."
I love Ryan, man.
I love him too, just because he gave me that compliment. Thank you, Ryan.
Ryan, I hope your basketball team is killing it and you guys win state.